Hello friend, welcome to all of you in this lecture number 4 of Business Economics Macro Sem-III subject. In the previous lecture, we discussed on the scope of the macroeconomics, and the scope means the subject matter or study area of the particular subject, and what is the actual deal with the subjects is included in the scope. And the scope of macroeconomics is the very wide and the large, and we also discuss on some points like it's include the theory of income and employment in the scope of macroeconomics, theory of the distribution, theory of economic growth and development, theory of general price level, theory of international trade, theory of the public finance, theory of income and employment, theory of consumption and investment, and theory of business cycle. Today we will discuss on the another point in chapter number 1, the introduction of macroeconomics. In this 1.4 we will see the significance and the importance of macroeconomics. So let us start with our new point, the point number 1.4. So importance of macroeconomics, it is the begin after the Great Depression 1929, because the macroeconomics is origin after the Second World War and the Great Depression 1929, and before that the microeconomics analysis is very much popular till to the Great Depression. But Great Depression 1929 exposed the limitation of macroeconomic analysis, where the microeconomics is failed to analyze the situation like the unemployment and Great Depression. But that time the James Keynes is made a good contribution to analysis of this situation, and James Keynes find the answer why the unemployment create. He find the reasons, measures of depression and unemployment problem, and he published his book The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money in 1936. After that the macroeconomics become more popular and the importance of macroeconomics is begin. So macroeconomics importance is increased after the Great Depression. So James Keynes is published his book 1936, and that time the emerging of the macroeconomics and the importance of macroeconomics is need to economic. There is need to new approach analysis of the situation like the depression and the unemployment. So what are the points are included into the importance? So see the next point, the importance of the macroeconomics. So importance of the macroeconomics to understand the whole economic activities, to solve the various problems, to aware the economic problems, accelerate economic growth, role of the government, to understand the business cycle, policy formulation, and for the individual and business. So these are the points is the important and significance explained to us of the macroeconomics. So let us start with our first point. To understand the working of whole economy, the macroeconomics not deal with the individual, but it is tell us how the economy as whole work. Microeconomics is not useful to understand the working of the whole economy, because what is true and valid in the case of may not true for the economy. It is the very large aggregate and average which is close to reality and clear real picture of the economy. So whenever we want to know the understanding of the whole economic situation and working, that time we need the macroeconomic analysis or macro approach. Like the total saving, what is the trend of total saving in the economy, what is the national income and total investment, because one individual person income, one individual person saving, one individual demand not give the exact picture or idea of the economy. So understand the whole economic situation, we need the macro approach. So understanding the whole economy, we need the macroeconomics. because what is true into the individual case which is not true in the whole economy. So So that's why understanding the whole economy, understanding the whole economic activity, we need the macro approach and macroeconomics. The next, to study out the various economic issues, because macroeconomics is concerned with the issues which is related to economy. The issues like the unemployment, the issues of the poverty, the issues of the inflation, inequality, a balance of payment, disequilibrium. These are the issues are these important in the human life because the human suffering lot from these issues. The macroeconomics help to understand this problem and suggest the policy measures on it. So issues of the balance of payment, when the country's import export is mentioned in the balance sheet, it's called the balance of payment, and the export and import of goods and services include into this balance of payment. So economic inequality is also important issue. They study into the macroeconomics, economic inequality, when some people are the rich and they have acquired the most of asset of the nation, and a large number of people still to the poor, and that's why the various issues is they study in the macroeconomics. Import export, so when the import is the more and export is the less, that time the disequilibrium create in the economy, and these are the things, the important issues studied in macroeconomics. Next, to create awareness. The awareness is related to the among the citizen. So successful working of the economy, it depends upon how the responsible citizen become in the economy. So become responsible citizen, we know what are the going into the our economy, what are the government strategy and government tools. So the people's nations will be able to judge the government policies and their performance only if they are well aware of the various macroeconomic issues. When the people are understand the issues like the regional imbalance, income inequality, unemployment, the inflation, then the people become aware about the government policies. When the people become aware of the government policy, then they understand what is going on in the actual situation. So create awareness is the thing is included in the importance of macroeconomics. So macroeconomics important to create awareness for the citizens. So become a responsible citizen. The macroeconomics also helpful to accelerate the growth. So macroeconomics analyze, they explain the factors which are to determine the causes of economic growth and development. What are the things are the decide the growth of the country or the development. So macroeconomic deal and tell us how they accelerate the economic growth throughout the investment and the consumption. So accelerating the economic growth or the accelerating the economic development speed, we need the macroeconomics. The macroeconomics knowledge provide us the rising standard of living of people achieve to this sustainable economic growth. So macroeconomics is the helpful for us for the accelerate the economic growth. So macroeconomics knowledge is provide us the rising standard of living and people achieve to sustain economic growth. So accelerating economic growth and the development, the study of the economic growth and development, we need the macroeconomics, and macroeconomics help to us the accelerate the what are the things need to accelerate the growth and the development. The next is important of the government intervention. The government intervention is the increase now these days because of the after the 1929 Great Depression, there is a failure of the market is the exposed. When the market mechanism failed to ensure the efficient allocation of resources, achieve social optimum production and distribution of pattern of the goods and services, also unable to bring stability, growth, the employment level, exchange rate. After the problem of Great Depression, the more attention given to the government intervention. So James Keynes is recommended that the government intervention is the important to solve the various issues like the poverty, unemployment and depression. So while the government intervention with the market system, It's prevent from the business cycles or the inflation from the deflation. It has also controlled the other kind of problem like the insufficiency, corruption, the create parallel economy, etc. So government intervention is the important to solve the problem like the corruption, the parallel economy, insufficiency of the resources. And now these days the situation like the COVID-19 pandemic, the government role is the also important for the provide a medical facility and to care of their people. So government intervention is the important when the market mechanism is the fail. So important of the government intervention is the tell us to the macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is important to for the government intervention, and what is the government role and what kind of the measures government taken, it is suggested by the macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is important for the intervention of the roles. To understand the government role in the economy, we need the macroeconomics, and macroeconomics help to us understand the role of the government. So macroeconomic study, the provide logical framework and devising appropriate tools to intervention and formulate the suitable the macroeconomic policy direct and regulate the economy. So suitable macroeconomic policy adopted by the government as per the situation under the certain circumstances. So government role is the important, it is tell us by the macroeconomics, and that's why the macroeconomics is the important. To study out the business cycle. The business cycles is the harmful to market economy, the ups and downs in the economy. It is create lot of problem in the economy, and so macroeconomics is study the business cycle, and it is help to the government explain the reasons of the trade cycle, resolve the problem of business cycles, and how they remove the various phases of the trade cycles. So government adopt the proper fiscal and monetary policy to check the business cycles, the phases of like the boom where the economic activity reach the highest level of the normal activities, and after that the recession is begin, that time the lower the economic activity, depression where the lot of trouble to the producers and the government. So government take the recovery measures and to remove the phases of the depression and the recession. So to understand the business cycle and their phases, reasons, and remove the business cycle phases, we need the macroeconomics, because macroeconomics study the business cycle phases and the policies remove of the business cycle. The another point is the policy formulation. So according to Keynes, the macroeconomics is the policy oriented science, and the science means the systematic study of the particular subject. So it is also a policy oriented science. So systematic study of the various policies, the policies like the population policy, foreign trade policy, taxation policy, or the fiscal policy, and formulating the various policy to activate the economy and the running of economy to solve the various problems. The policy formulation is the important. So macroeconomics help to formulate various policies. So macroeconomics has practical value of formulating government fiscal and the monetary policy. Monetary policy throughout the RBI, throughout the central bank, every government is introduced, and fiscal policy it is represent in their budget. So with the knowledge of macroeconomics, government tackle the various problems and adopted the policies that left the economy out from the various problems. So macroeconomics is also important to formulate various policy, and it is possible to government achieve the various macroeconomic objective with the proper knowledge of macroeconomics. The objective like the full employment, objective like the stability of economy, objective of the balance of payment means the stable economy. To achieve the objective of economic growth and to economic stability and achieve the certain objective, government can use the various policies and to formulate the various policies, the macroeconomic knowledge and the information is the useful. The next is the macroeconomics help to individual and the business decision. So macroeconomics information and macroeconomics knowledge is helpful for the individual or take their better decision under the various circumstances. So it is a help to individual and businessmen take their decision. The understanding about the working of economy as a whole help to individual take their as well as the businessmen. So understand about the working of economy as a whole help to the individual to take a better decision and the prediction of the impact of the government policy on them. So whenever we know the what are the government policy is the going on and what are the policy is adopted by the government and what are the impact on our individual, that time we take the better decision. Like the decision of the individuals, the purchasing, saving and investment, the what time we purchase our new car, what time we purchase our new house and the properties, and what time we not purchase. It is the provide help by the macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is helpful to take our individual decision. So according to various government policies, the individual behave in the situation in the inflation. So what are the charges government going on, the what are the taxes imposed in the inflation and the recession, and they may decide the act in the present in the way of the adverse effect of it. So individual take decision the basis of the government decision. So individual take better decision whenever he know the macroeconomics. So when take individual decision whether purchase or not shares, bonds, car, house, etc., it is the basis of macroeconomic knowledge. It will be helpful to businessmen. So macroeconomics also helpful to the businessmen and manage or who are the managers who are the face the various decision making problem or economic impact on the business, internal external environment, the effect on the business. So it will be help to predict the future demand and investment decision. So it is also provide help to the businessmen and the managers who take their decision, because the government decisions the impact on the various business, their internal and external environment. So it is a provide help to businessmen and the managers take their decisions. So it is helpful to individual as well as the businessmen and the managers. So macroeconomics is the very helpful to understand the economy of the whole. Macroeconomics the important to understand the business cycle, formulate the various policies. So what we learn from this video, so the macroeconomics help to understand overall working of economy to solve the various problems, the problems like the unemployment, poverty and inequality, to understand the role of the government intervention to solve the various issues, the issues like the unemployment, poverty and inequality, the problem of inflation, trade cycle or business phases. So these things we learn from this video. It is helpful to create awareness among the people of the government policies and the intervention of the government in the various situations, to understand the role of the government in the various circumstances. So it's create the awareness among the people. So it is helpful for the us. And the macroeconomics helpful to the government the formulate the policy, monetary policy, fiscal policy, taxation policy and other policy. Also take the decision as educate the effect of business cycle from the economy, and it is also helpful to take individual and businessmen's decisions. So these things we learn from this video. The next is the reference and textbooks for refer for this point, the importance and significance of macroeconomics, the ML Jingle macroeconomic Vrinda publication, and the Mumbai. You can refer this book. H.L. Ahuja macroeconomic theory, H-Chan publication. You can refer this book also. Dev K.K. Navalkar modern economic theory, H-Chan, New Delhi 2018 books is also available market in the library. Rasa R.G. Espada, Hotekar, Golub, business economics, macro, Sem-III, Sem-IV, Prasarak publication is also available for you. The other point is the assignment question. What will be question will be asked on this topic? The question will be asked on this topic that explain the scope of macroeconomics for 10 marks. So it is the important question for the examination preparation. So thank you for all of you watching this video, and the next time we will be meet another point and discuss the next point is the limitation on the macroeconomics.